Wow, that introduction makes me sound a lot cooler than I really am. I'm a huge Harry Potter fan. I love Disneyland, and I listen to boy band music probably way too much for a 40-year-old man. But I'm living my truth, and that is exactly what I want to speak with you all about here tonight. Have you ever felt like you didn't belong? Have you ever felt like an imposter? Have you ever felt like you had to do something a certain way or say something specific to fit in or to be accepted? I know I have. I felt a bit like an imposter when I was invited to give this speech here this evening. The questions that entered my mind were questions like, why me? I've never done this before. How can I inspire a room full of people? I'm not an Olympian. I'm not a war hero. I'm not a famous actor. But then I thought, I'm being called to this moment. Will I answer that call, and will I do it in a way that is uniquely me? Maybe you faced a similar question when applying for this scholarship, but you put those doubts aside. You answered the call, you applied for the scholarship, and did it in a way that is uniquely you. Before this night gets away from us and we get wrapped up in the awards and the mingling and the food and all the things, I want us to take a moment to recognize where your decision to apply for this scholarship got you. Take a look around. You are in the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library. That's huge, like physically huge, but also like it's a huge moment in your life. Did you know, because I didn't before I went to Google a couple days ago, that there are only 14 presidential libraries in the United States of America, and you are sitting in one of them. Your hard work in embracing what makes you, you, got you here. Under Air Force One, no less. I mean, how cool is this moment? How cool that you made it happen for yourself. And how amazing that you are sitting here with some of the people who love you the most and who will love and support you to the ends of the earth. So to recognize and honor this moment, I want to do something that I used to do years ago, before camera phones were a thing. Yes, I'm that old. I did this with campers that I worked with at the YMCA in Thousand Oaks. I'm born and raised out here in this area. I want us to take a mental picture, or 10 if you want, of this moment. I want us to celebrate the effort, not just the outcome. You are full of hope in this moment. You are full of pride in this moment, as you should be. So let's all capture this moment together. Just take a couple seconds to just look around and know that you are here. I took about 6. I don't know how many you took, but I got a solid 6 there. I'm going to get them in wallets. That's a joke that parents really appreciate. As was shared with you during my introduction, I am the author of the award-winning inclusive children's book series, The Capables. And at the heart of our series is this: different is super. And tonight, I want to talk about the power that resides in the decision to embrace what makes you unique. In 2018, my life changed forever. I'll get a little choked up because I became a dad. Parents know the feeling. It is easily one of the greatest gifts I will ever receive in my life, but it also was and is one of the most challenging journeys I have ever been on. At the 20-week mark of my wife's pregnancy, my wife went in for her scheduled ultrasound. At the end of that ultrasound, the tech told my wife that she would be getting a call from radiology to schedule a follow-up appointment since there were some images that they weren't able to capture. My wife got a call the next day, but it wasn't from radiology. It was from a genetic counselor. This person informed my wife that there were some concerns about what they were and what they weren't seeing on the ultrasound imagery. So a few days later, my wife and I were sent to see a specialist, a perinatologist. At the end of a 2.5-hour ultrasound, the specialist turned on the light and said, "Okay, let's talk." There's nothing like the phrase, "let's talk," to let you know you're about to hear something that could be difficult to process. The perinatologist informed us that our daughter was going to be born with an upper limb difference. Specifically, our daughter Emerson, she was born with one bone in her right forearm, and as a result, she has 2 fingers on her right hand. I remember thinking in that moment, sitting in the exam room, looking at the images on the screen, I thought, that's my daughter. She became so real to me in that moment. And I immediately felt called to do whatever I could to contribute to a world that is more inclusive, more educated, and empowering when it comes to disabilities. So the next day, an idea hit me for a group of kids superheroes called the Capables. All of the Capables have a disability, and their powers are activated through empowerment. I've been so fortunate to share our empowering message with thousands of kids all around the world, and we've won awards, as you heard. I've been on Good Morning America, but there's something that nobody except for my close circle saw. Back in the spring of 2021, after our first book was released, a time where most people thought I was flying high, I wasn't. I started having panic attacks. It got so intense that I met with a psychiatrist who diagnosed me with generalized anxiety disorder, major depression, and PTSD. That diagnosis, seeing those words on a page with my name at the top, it came as a shock to me. I thought, I'm Mr. Optimistic. I'm always finding the silver lining and encouraging others to chase their dreams to the end of the earth. In short, I was lost. I was confused. I was hurt. I was scared. I spent the better part of the next 2 years trying to fix myself. But here's the thing. I don't need to be fixed. And neither do you. We are all unique, and I firmly believe that it is our differences that give us our superpowers in life. You see, for nearly 15 years, I have made a living as a TV producer and director. I have worked on some of the most well-known shows in the world, and one of the things that makes me so good at telling stories is my ability to feel deeply. My anxious energy drives me to work hard, to show up, to constantly be growing and evolving. It pushes me, and as my mom would say, to not give up, to always find another way. And after trying so hard to change what didn't need to be changed, I finally found another way forward. I was recently doing a presentation at a school here in Simi Valley, speaking to a room full of students about how being different is super, and encouraging those kids to embrace what makes them, them. And it hit me. I was speaking those words passionately. I was impacting these kids and educators, but I wasn't living that truth. I was running away from what made me different, rather than befriending it and being thankful for it. Maybe you know that feeling, the feeling of fear, or wanting to hide what makes you different. Maybe you're feeling it right now. But I'm here to tell you that's normal. And also that we need you just the way that you were uniquely made. Think about this. There is only one you. In the history of everything that has been and will ever be, there will only ever be one you. How incredible is that? We need your perspective. We need the way your brain processes, the way your brain creates and innovates, the way you dream. That is how we change the world. I know it's hard to be different. We live in a time where there's so much copying going on, right? You look at TikTok or Instagram, and people get millions of views for copying someone else. How could you not want to follow that lead? But let me ask you this. Do you want to go viral? Do you want to impact the world with your unique voice, or do you want to do it copying someone else? My advice, be original. Tell your story, and tell it in the way that only you can. Imagine if Oprah Winfrey didn't do things her own unique way. Imagine if Walt Disney didn't do things his own unique way. I certainly wouldn't be going to Disneyland, and that would be pretty disappointing for me, and probably many of you as well. But look, you won't be able to convince everyone to see your vision, and that's okay. You can still bring it to life. Take my series, The Capables, for example. I have pitched our book series to agents, my agents, TV networks, major publishers, and none of them have said yes. But guess what? We're still impacting the world. Hundreds of people we didn't know found us on Kickstarter and said yes. They helped us raise tens of thousands of dollars so we could properly compensate the team that I work with. And as a result, we have published 2 inclusive books. We have shipped thousands of books all around the world. We have translated our award-winning debut book into 3 languages, including Spanish, German, and American Sign Language. We're doing it our way. We're doing it differently. And I think that's pretty super. So authenticity is key. And while you're out there living your most authentic, best life, tackling problems in the way that only your brain knows how, creating things that never existed before you. Here's another element of life that can't be understated. Surround yourself with good people. Surround yourself with people who encourage you, who challenge you, who support you, and who you can be your most authentic self with. As the great Tony Award-winning actor Andre DeShields shared as one of his tenets for life, surround yourself with people whose faces light up when you enter the room. You know who those people are. Some of them are probably here with you this evening. Hold those people close and nurture those relationships. And when you meet other people like that in the future, honor those relationships and let those people know what they mean to you. They will be the ones to help you through all of the challenges that life will inevitably bring your way. There's another big one. Got to be honest. It's okay to say you don't know. It's okay to ask for help. You are empowering others when you allow them to share their perspective and embrace the way that they look at things differently. And keep exploring, keep learning, and stay patient. There's always more knowledge to gain, and that knowledge will pay off massively when big opportunities come your way. I know we want things now, that big job now, that vision for our future now. But those things will take care of themselves in their own time. Let me tell you from experience, being patient and educating yourself as much as possible will pay huge dividends when the big dream come true type of opportunities come your way. Educate yourself. And when you become the boss, you will be able to relate to your team and know how to dialogue with them individually and have a deeper appreciation for their needs, their struggles, their requests. You'll be ready to step into the moment and do amazing things. Keep exploring, keep learning, ask for help, and stay patient. What's meant for you will always be meant for you. Life is a sprint. Slow down, enjoy the journey. And lastly, let's talk about what I believe to be the most important thing to figure out in life, your why. People are probably asking you a lot of what questions right now, right? What are you going to major in? What do you want to be when you grow up? What is your 5-year plan? What did you do to your hair? That sort of stuff. I believe that what is pretty limiting, but why? That is where the magic lives. You see, when you figure out your why in life, your what can be anything. How powerful is that? How freeing is that? When I first got into the entertainment industry, I knew one thing. I love making people smile and taking their mind off of their worries. That is something I keep coming back to over and over again, no matter what project I'm working on. And I get to live out and honor my why over and over again. The what changes all the time, but the why remains the same. And maybe you don't know what your why is right now, and that's okay. It will come. Something will impact you and connect with your essence in a way that goes beyond words. Pay attention to those feelings. And let me tell you, a lot of people won't understand it, and that's okay too. You are never going to please everyone. Some people just aren't going to get it. And if you spend your life molding and shaping yourself into what you think others need or want you to be, you will lose yourself. You will lose your superpowers. So why not embrace what makes you uniquely you? Everyone else is already taken. So just as Walt Disney sat on a bench in Griffith Park years ago, staring at a carousel that his children were riding on, dreaming up a new idea, a new land that would become Disneyland, I hope that when you have similar moments of inspiration in your life, just as when you made that decision to apply for this scholarship, I hope that when new exciting ideas or opportunities pop into your mind, that you embrace them. Not only that you embrace them, but that you bring your true, unique perspective to every endeavor. The world needs that. The world needs different. The world needs you. Thank you so much for your time. Congratulations, everyone. Thank you.